Hey everybody, this is Sue Craig, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Cleveland, Ohio, and today I have a technique for you. I want you to take a look at this right here. I just finished making this, and I'm going to show you how to do this real pretty technique. It's pretty easy. You don't need too many things. I want to show you a finished card that I did. Now I didn't use the bright distress inks that I have on this background because I was doing a color challenge, but it's the same type of thing. So I did my background, so instead of using designer paper I created my own background and then added things to finish off my card. Now we're not going to be doing a full card today. I'm just going to show you a technique. Then you can do with it what you want. So let me show you what we need. We're going to need a piece of cardstock. I have some basic white right here. We're going to need a stencil. Any stencil will do. This is a retired stencil from Stampin' Up!, but it's fall and I wanted to have something colorful for my Thanksgiving cards. We're also going to need a baby wipe, so I have those off to the side. The ink that you're going to want is distress ink, and I have my little cubes right here. They're a little bit off camera, but I can tell you what the colors are, and everything will be in the description below, so you don't have to worry about that. So we're going to put the stencil aside for right now, and we're going to just take our inks and we're just going to add ink anywhere we want on our paper. It doesn't matter if we have that blob or if it blends nicely. It's okay because this is all going to be blended together when we put the baby wipe on it. So I like to start with my lightest color, and this is mustard seed. And I like to use enough so that you can see the brightness of it. That's going to really add to your project when it's finished. Now you can also, after you are finished, before you put the baby wipe on it, you can go ahead and add more if you like. I'm using the domes here because I've had issues with these right here, the flat sponges. Many of them I've had for quite a while and they've disintegrated. So I'm now using the domes. See how they work. What I'm using now is spiced marmalade. Again, it's a bright color. I'm going to try to get it in close to the yellow. You can put these anywhere you want. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just putting them in assorted places, and you can see I do have round areas, and that's going to be okay. You're not going to see that. All right, I'm going to now go to ripe persimmon. I chose this one because it has kind of a reddish color to it, but it's not red, it's not pink. And I thought it would complement the other colors that I have. And you can see those places where I had just circles now. It's blending nicely. But again, it's not going to matter because we're going to have the stencil on top, and you'll see what the stencil and the baby wipe will do. All right, I want to try some red now just to add. This is barn door. And I guess, you know, one thing you need to look at is when you're choosing colors, choose colors that are going to blend well together. These are all close to each other, so they're going to make a nice blend if they mix, or when they mix. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of green. And of course, this is not really going to mix too well. But I do want to get just a little bit of it, and I'm putting it on where I know it's going to show up on this yellow. And I don't know which part of the stencil is going to be there, but that's going on the yellow makes it look like a green and not brown. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our mat. This is our secret ingredient. We're going to take our mat and we're going to put our paper on top of it. And then you're going to put your stencil on. And I try to do this so that I have all of it at one end. If you want to tape it, you can. I don't find that that's necessary, but if you want to, you can. You're going to take a baby wipe. And we're just going to place the baby wipe on top. Okay. Now, when I saw this technique, I did see somebody take the baby wipe and just dab it on top of the stencil. But I found when I did that, I did not get as good an impression. So I used my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this through my Stamp Cut and Emboss machine. Let me show you the sandwich that I used to put this through the machine. I used my number 1 plate, a number 3 on top, and then I put my mat, which had the paper, then the stencil, and the baby wipe, and then I put plate 4 on top. All right, so my mat is what gives it just enough thickness for the baby wipe to be pushed down into the paper and the ink. So when I remove this, I'm going to take the baby wipe off. I wonder if you could use that. It's got the impression and a little bit of ink. That's another video. All right, we're going to take this off. And you can see that now we have the embossed images of the leaf on here with the colors. This is also wet from the baby wipe, so now you'll have to have it dried. Either let it air dry or with your heat tool, and then you can use it however you want to use it. When it dries, you'll see more of the leaves like this. They'll lighten up like that, so they're a little more obvious. But as you can see, it makes for a beautiful background. You can use any colors you want. I hope you like this technique. I hope you give it a try. And thanks for watching.